the heart of Robin Hood County.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Hot flushes, night sweats and mood swings that tend to mean one thing. Menopause. It can be difficult to go through, and it tends to be one of those things that isn't really talked about openly. But now, a Nottinghamshire-based online community called Handpicked for Women over the age of 40 wants Nottingham to become the first menopause-friendly city in the United Kingdom. The campaign is being supported by the recently retired Chief Constable of Nottinghamshire Police, Sue Fish.
Women don't really like, in general, to talk about either age-related or gender-related issues to their boss, and whether their boss is female or male. And actually, we found in the organisation that so many people, both men and women, knew nothing about it until it started happening to them as women. And there was a real thirst for knowledge, particularly, actually, from men who either their partners or wives were going through it, or for the younger ones, mums, because it's not taught in schools, it's just a taboo subject. And so we've been debunking that myth and given some practical tips to line managers and indeed to women who are going through this particular transition and phase of their life.
Alina Mukherjee is a yoga teacher in Nottingham. Lina, what was your experience of going through menopause then?
Good evening, Kaval.
Hi.
Hi. Well, my situation was an enforced situation because it was discovered I had a tumour in my womb and I was put through a series of medication. It was really tough because it was the equivalent of what could be for some women a 5-10 year process in 3 months. So the experiences that I had it was painful, very painful for my joints, my body, the hot flushes and the mood swings and feeling very confused about who I was as a woman and as a person. So it threw all the cards into the air as well as feeling in a lot of pain.
I think it's important, Lina, isn't it, to talk about the fact that how did people around you deal with it who didn't have that much information, particularly men around you?
Luckily, I have a very understanding husband who has a lot of patience. But I'm reflecting on my own father, how he was with my mother, and frankly, Kaval, scared because he was seeing my mum as being this very angry woman and a very fiery woman who was in pain and in flux, and also with my situation in terms of the turbulence. But actually, it's a really unpredictable, volatile time. So it was tough. It was tough because there was lack of understanding and to some degree a lack of empathy.
How much do you think women within the South Asian community talk about menopause, Lina?
Very little. Very little. And I think it's sad, Kaval, because it affects every woman. It will affect every woman. And there's this suffering in silence. And as we heard in the clip, it's a taboo subject. We don't go there. So
why is that, though, Lina?
Well, from my research, Kaval, as a therapist, I did some research at master's level. It was part of my dissertation. And what we found was a lot of it is the conditioning with which we were brought up in. So it's very patriarchal conditioning that as a woman, when you reach menopause, the sad labelling is that you're past it. You're not fertile anymore. You're like an old hag. And that's the connections with the bag as in the womb. And it's a time when your life's over, which is very sad.
It is.
And for me, what I think is it's a time of great wisdom that's available for a woman. And luckily in the Asian culture, and we do have respect for elders and the recognition that the elders come with wisdom, but there's something about a woman's potency, her fertility reduces. And yet her potency can come in other ways, is what I challenge.
Lina, now when you come across your clients or customers who are going through this, I mean, how do you support them?
Well, first of all, I listen to them. I offer them an empathic embrace of not judging, not coming with the whole of the conditioning. And in fact, I offer affirmation that it's a bloody hard time. It's a very difficult time of uncertainty. And yet I offer a different perspective of through being non-judgmental, being empathic and being understanding, but also being very real because I've gone through my process and Thank God I have, because I've not denied it. I've embraced it, and that's what I offer. It's an embracing of a time of great learning, not of drying up. It's the complete opposite.
Now, what would your advice be, Lina, finally, of someone who's actually listening, a woman who's listening, or even a man who's listening
Yes.
to you? How do you think women should see menopause?
Well, I don't do shoulds. So what I'll say is I'll offer,
Okay.
because then I'm just doing the same as conditioning. What I offer and I invite is actually to put aside all the difficult symptoms, because they pass, Kaval. They do pass, and it's if we can have some understanding with our own body, our body's not trying to hurt us. It's a natural process. So that's number one. And actually, once the hormones have found their balance, to actually stay with the learning that can come from it, the growth that can come from it, and embrace. But it's having the patience, I think, more than anything, and the tolerance to go through it.
Okay, wise words from you. Lina Mukherjee, a yoga teacher in Nottingham, talking about menopause. And a recently retired Chief Constable of Nottinghamshire Police, Sue Fish, wants the campaign to be supported and Nottingham being the friendliest city in the UK about menopause. You're listening to BBC Radio Nottingham, 20 minutes past 7.